chicken.
There's a thing that it's kind of a secret that every professional artist do when they finish an illustration. So here I wanted to draw this kind of sexy witch. I know she's a witch because I drew her, but I believe that we can emphasize more. So the first thing lacking is storytelling. Let's fix that. Instead of having this hand here, I can put her arm here and she can be casting a spooky spell. She can be casting a witch spell. That way it will show that she's definitely a witch. So let's go. First we need to erase this hand. Yeah, hands are hard to draw, and yeah, I will sacrifice this hand for the good of my illustration. Let's erase the skin. Let's erase her nails. I also have a grain layer here. I have some shadows, and I will erase the line work. My hand! Alright, my hand is now gone, but it left this hole in her skirt. So like a cooking show, I will just show it after it's done. Clock wipe. I just noticed another error. Her arm comes from here and goes to nowhere. So I will erase it too. Okay, let's fix her skirt. Let's erase this line. This line, my wife, high five. One thing that is very unusual for me to do is going back to old illustrations and fixing things. I always believe that you have to create new things instead of going back and fix something. But for the purposes of this video, I will fix this illustration. Okay, so we don't have her arm anymore. Let's draw the new arm. I could take a picture of my own hand, but there's this great website, Pose Maniacs, which you can choose a lot of different poses and you can even choose your angle and lighting. So yeah, cooking show. But now I'm worried that if I don't show you that I really drew that hand, you will tell that I just traced it. I believe you trust me. Okay, so here it is, my hand. Just to prove that I didn't trace my reference, here's my sketch, here's my line work, and here is the color. Please don't make me do a video just drawing hands. So now let's do our spell. I was thinking about something here. And for that, I will use the circular text tool. So let's do a circular text here. Let's choose this font. The name of this font is Elder Foot. So yeah, something like that. I will rasterize this layer and transform it to create some perspective in her hand. So there it is. I used blue and the glow dodge blending mode to make it glow a little bit. Now I will take a grain brush and I will add grain to these writings. So let's do this. Let's make it shiny. In the corners I will add a little more glow. Okay, I added the glow effect and now I will duplicate this layer and I will make it bigger and place it like here, like there's another spell ring. And I don't want the spell to be in front of her face, so with that very soft brush I will erase it a little bit. Okay, cool. Our storytelling is improved, but it is still missing something. I think this illustration is lacking a little bit of color, so I will saturate it a little bit more. So it's very common that after you paint, you realize that the illustration is too flat. So most of the time I add a little bit of saturation. But keep in mind to add just a little bit. I also think that the whites in this illustration are too white. Today I almost never use pure white or pure black when I'm drawing something on digital. So I will try to lower those levels using curves. So let's take the whites about here. Let's give it a little bit more contrast think, yeah, something like that. I also think the background is popping a little too much, so I will create this vignette effect around her. Not just around her, but specifically around the spell, which in my mind is the thing that is casting light in the room. So let's make a ball. Let's invert the select area. So let's grab a sponge brush that I have here, and let's make our vignette. Let's soft the edges a little bit, and here we have our vignette. We are almost there, but I still believe this needs more contrast. I can make her spell cast more light, and I can make the background darker. Ooh, I also had this idea of creating particles in her spell. Yeah, that will be very cool. So let's create some particles. So I'm using this brush. I rename it as weathering brush, but I don't even remember where I got it. But what I do with brushes very often is finding brushes that I like. Most of the time these brushes like mimic some traditional tool, and I change a lot of the parameters to look as I want. So I believe this illustration needs a little bit of noise, just to tie things up. Let's see here, 27, yeah, 27 is about right. Let's look at the close-up. Yeah, it's not too much noise. You don't want your image to be too noisy. Now just add more glow in some parts of the illustration, and I think I will get the background a little darker. And we are done. I believe that it looks much more professional now. And I know that the title says that your art is one step away of looking professional. And these were kind of 220 steps. But they were part of one final step. So my illustration here was lacking storytelling and was lacking contrast and unity. So today, these things that I added in the final steps, I almost do with every illustration. A few years back when I did this illustration, I thought that adding adjustment layers and adding other things after the art was finished was kind of cheating. But it's not cheating. You are using the tools in your favor. It's important to have this part in the end so your art doesn't look too smooth or like something made of plastic. You can notice that my illustration is much more gritty and it looks more professional now. If you like this video, consider supporting my channel by becoming a patron or buying this t-shirt, which says, "Dumb questions for artists. Do you have a real job? Khaki pants not included."